So it just softens the sound a little bit, probably.
That's probably it. I don't know. I haven't gotten.
Maybe it's for sanitary reasons.
Man, I haven't gotten all fancy yet.
I don't know whose other lips have been on this mic, and you're supposed to be right up on it like this.
Oh, I had somebody like licking the mic.
Nice.
I think you'll be fine.
This one?
It's cool. They weren't sniffling, so I don't think they had.
I'm rubbing my beard against it.
There it is. Now I've got to disinfect it. Thank you very much. Hey everybody, it's your boy Big B, bringing you another episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. And today I got a special guest on here, man, Mr. Carl from Rising Point Credit Solutions. What's up, baby?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I totally blew it on your last name, man. Tell everybody your full name, brother.
Carl Stanley.
That's right. I knew that. I'm telling you, I knew that. So what's going on, Carl, man?
Just hanging out in Austin, visiting all of our mortgage partners.
Yeah?
Yep.
How many mortgage partners is that?
Lots.
It's only supposed to be one.
Well, Movement's our favorite mortgage partner.
Here we go. Here goes the salesmanship. Come on, baby. How you been, man? How's Dallas?
It's great. Cold.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Did you guys get any snow and ice lately?
We got a few flakes, and they called off school for the whole day.
Really? Well, you know what? Austin, they canceled, like they shut Austin down too. And thanks to this weather, I actually had the worst time ever trying to fly to El Paso. I was going to El Paso for the day, and I was supposed to do the midday flight through Dallas or whatever, and apparently they just shut Dallas down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun.
It's been freezing the last few weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy. So, Carl Stanley, I keep wanting to call you Carl White. I'm so sorry.
I like Carl White.
Huh?
I like Carl White.
So do I. I was actually giving him a shout out on one of the other podcast episodes because he's got his, own podcast, and I think it's called Loan Officer Freedom, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So love it when they're out there delivering a good word and stuff like that. But let's talk about you, baby.
Okay.
Let's talk about Carl Stanley.
Thank you.
So, Carl, you own Rising Point Credit Solutions.
Yes, Rising Point Solutions.
So what is that? What do you guys do?
We do credit restoration, student loan debt assistance, credit education for realtors, anything credit related. We mainly work with mortgage companies, realtors, builders, anybody who works with clients that may need help with their credit and are trying to become homeowners.
Okay, so are you what they call a credit cleanup company?
Yes.
Okay, but here's the thing, and this is the reason why I ask you that is, I've known you for a long time. And actually, I was not only am I a friend, I am a member. Actually,
right.
You actually helped me out at one point after the crash. But the reason I'm asking you that is because everybody's heard about credit repair.
Right.
Everybody's seen the commercial, call me and all this other stuff, and a lot of times those are just glorified scams. And
right.
With your company, you've been in business how long?
14 years. Or going on our 14th year this year.
Yeah, and I know you've got a really big reach. Now, you're not just in Texas, though, are you?
No. We do a ton of business in Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Colorado, Chicago, across about 7 different states.
Yeah. So, just speaking to my audience, all like 6 of you out there listening to this, this guy is very reputable, and not only has he helped a lot of our clients, but like I said, he helped me as well at one point as after the crash of 2009. But I want to ask you, with and you don't see him as much anymore, I don't think, but with credit repair, how do you know what to look for in choosing a company to help you repair?
Right. Well, the reason a lot of companies in the credit repair game have a bad name is because they're still doing business the way it was done 10 years ago, where they just dispute everything on credit reports, slap everything against the wall, see what sticks. Nowadays, because of the guidelines and because of consumer demand, you have to pair everything you do with education and resources to get people across the finish line. It's not good enough just to address negative credit. You've got to teach consumers how to build positive credit, how to maintain positive credit. We want people to have better credit for the rest of their lives, not just a short-term fix.
Exactly. So you're doing more of the educational piece, is that
right? Absolutely. Not only to our consumers, but to the industry, to our mortgage partners, our realtor builder partners. We want it to be more of a holistic solution so that not only do we make a transaction happen for our partner, but the client gets a residual experience of, benefit for a long period.
Well, not only that too, man, they learn so much. I mean, because, for me, it's different because I've been working in credit for the last, 15 years, right? And, but for the average person on the street, I mean, credit and even balancing the checkbook, that's not something that's even taught in school.
No, and we do a lot of that. We get a lot of requests to go into universities, churches. I've been into large companies. They'll have the HR department will have us come in and teach all their employees about credit. City of Dallas had us come in and talk to a lot of the City of Dallas employees because it's an added benefit for people to be able to learn about this. It's so much more important now than it was 10, 12, 15 years ago. Credit is used for everything in life.
Oh God, yeah. Your score can make or break you, and the sad part is we've all heard, there's so many errors on your credit report.
Right.
And I know that at one period I remember I got a call from an agency and they're like, "Yeah, we're calling about this account you have in New Mexico." I'm like, "Bro, I've never even been to New Mexico."
Right.
Like, much less have I ever applied for anything there.
Yeah.
So,
well, the current statistics are about that 79% of Americans have errors on their credit report, and about 20% of Americans have errors on their credit report so serious they can either not get a home loan or not get the best rates and terms. So they're being unfairly punished. I mean, that's obviously why we're in business. That's a big market cap.
Absolutely. Yep. So, tell me the story, man. How did you get into it? What drew you to this industry?
Well, personal experience. I was in the software industry for about 10 years, got transferred to Dallas to take over an office for this software company. And when I realized I was going to be in Dallas for a while, I decided to purchase a home. Did what a lot of people do, went to a realtor who referred me to a lender. Had no experience in the industry, went to the lender. Lender referred me to a credit repair guy, right? And had a bad experience. Charged me a lot of money, didn't do anything for me, and it's an experience a lot of people have had, and that drove me to say, hey, there's got to be a better way. You know what? If there was a company that would actually do what they say and help people and put together a quality program, that there'd probably be a pretty good market for it.
Now wait, let me back you up there. Did you say you were in software?
Yeah.
Like designing, engineer?
No.
Sales?
I was business development, functional side, project management, stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So completely unrelated industry.
Completely. I didn't even know what credit repair was, never heard of it until I was referred to a company, didn't know it was possible, and didn't know much, if anything, about the mortgage or real estate industry either. Was just being referred from one person to another, and
as it happens so often.
Yeah, ended up in a bad place. And so there just weren't any good solutions for consumers 15 years ago until we came along. And there are some other good companies now, but
sure.
But
they're not on this podcast. And
no,
so we're not going to talk about that.
No, they're not Rising Point.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. So you had a bad experience. Basically, it's safe to say you got ripped off. Right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So you got ripped off. You're still stuck, no house. Issues that's got to be resolved. So what'd you do? You just started digging your nose into books, reading up on this, the internet. What?
Yeah, I was busy with my job. I decided to just start working on it on the weekends, and when I had time, researched a lot of federal laws, and consumer protection laws. There was another guy at the office who was in a similar position, so we worked on things together on his credit and my credit, and we started figuring a lot of things out. We got really good at it. Other people in the office who were in similar situations asked for help. And then their friends and family members started asking for help.
Look at you creating a business. One
day we looked up and we had 28 people in some system that we had created on the weekends, and everybody was getting great results. And at some point we had to decide, hey, we don't have enough time to do this, or we got to make a business out of it, and that's what we did.
Wow. Look at you, like a true American success story.
Yeah, well, I think all the best businesses are born out of, necessity or organic, not contrived, and just thinking, hey, I'm going to go do this. It started and built out a need,
Yeah, absolutely. So you launched it. Was it always known as Rising Point?
Always, yeah. Rising Point Solutions from the beginning.
Wow. And how did you go about getting your name out there? Because here's the thing, man. for people who don't know you, for those of us in the mortgage industry who know you, we know you're everywhere, right?
Right.
Whether you're hosting mixers, whether you're speaking at events, whether you're speaking in front of large groups, whatever. But I mean, you had to build a book of business from zero. I know you had your little 28 clients, but that wasn't gonna, that wasn't going to feed your family.
All right.
Right? Much less you and, I guess, your business partner.
Right.
So tell me about that. Tell me about what you did to overcome not having that book. How'd you go out and start slinging this, selling it?
Well, what I did was I took the same approach that I used in the software industry and applied it to the credit industry. I went out to probably about 20 to 30 of the largest mortgage companies in Dallas, and I didn't ask for business. I just gave them a questionnaire, and I said, hey, have you had experience with credit restoration? If so, what did you like? What didn't you like?
Right.
What are the three most important things in a partner? And asked them a lot of questions about, if they could have their ideal partner to help their consumers, who would it be? And most of them were gracious enough to fill out the questionnaires. And then I took the questionnaires and I went back and I built my whole company based on their feedback. So and then I went back to the same company and said, here, I took what you wanted and I went and developed it. And so it wasn't hard from that point on to get into mortgage companies and sell to mortgage companies, because we were giving them exactly what they wanted, and there was nothing else in the market like it.
You did your research up front.
Right.
Wow.
Of course.
So now, and now I know you've got like a full-on sales team. You've got the whole thing, but yet you're still the man, the CEO out here, or whatever. Is it CEO?
CEO,
president,
owner, president,
janitor,
director of first impressions.
Director of first impressions.
Right.
So, even though your company is substantial now, you're still out here pressing flesh. You're still out here, harnessing these relationships.
Yeah. It's a relationship business, and over 13, 14 years, I've built so many relationships that, and it honestly, it's the best part of the job for me. I'm not an operational guy. I'm not a sit in the office guy. I've got people that do that. There's not a day that goes by that I just don't want to go out and meet people. It's the fun part for me.
Sure. Was there ever a time when you wondered if you made the right choice?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for small businesses, and especially the last 7-8 years has been tough. There's a lot of regulatory concerns in our industry, and financial concerns amongst consumers has been up and down, but to be around 13 years as a small business, I mean, we're happy about that. I mean, not a lot of small business stay around that long.
And you don't have to give me too much detail, but the reason is because obviously on this podcast, I like to hear people's stories. I like people to share their story because it's unique, right? Like, this isn't just a mortgage podcast or real estate podcast, even though it says mortgage podcast. I know, guys, sorry. But it's one of those things to where it's sales, right, in my opinion. Because whether you're a real estate agent, a loan officer, a title rep, insurance, whatever, doing what you do, credit repair, it's sales, right? And the biggest part is one, getting in, making the decision to get in, right? 2 is building that book of business, and then also we're all going to hit walls.
Right, and everybody in the transaction has a vested interest in making sure that consumer achieves their dream, whether it's the title person, the builder, the realtor, the mortgage person, me on our side. We're all sharing the same customer. And so as a company, we've tried to position ourselves to be a part of the whole mortgage and real estate ecosystem so that we can help everybody close more transactions. I mean, theoretically, it should be a win-win-win-win-win 5-6 times over for everybody.
4 more wins.
Right. I mean, you've got a title transaction, you've got a home sale, you've got a mortgage transaction, you've got a consumer achieving their dreams, you've got Rising Point having a customer. So, we all benefit, including the consumer, if we can extending a helping hand and get them to where they need to be.
Right. Well, so share with me some of the struggles you had to face. What were give me an example of some things you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
Yeah, well,
and again, you don't have to go into any more detail than you want to, but I mean, obviously, lull in business or. Well,
the obvious one is, because we don't do any direct consumer advertising. We're referral only. So our fate is tied to the fate of the mortgage and real estate industry. So, we started in 2005, so we were around during the kind of real estate boom and bust in 2008, the mortgage implosion in 2008, 2009, bad economies the last few years. So we have the same challenges and same up and down in sales cycles that all of our industry partners do. And so, that's a big challenge because we are not a giant mortgage company or bigger entity that can absorb those ups and downs as easily. So we want to be there to service our partners, but, we need the business coming in, and we're reliant on them being successful. And because those industries have had challenges, we've kind of had to go along for the ride with them.
Sure. What would you say one of your favorite success stories is in doing this?
Oh, there's a lot of them. Every single time a consumer sends us a video or a picture or a thank you letter, sometimes with their family members as well, sometimes crying and sobbing, thinking that they were never going to become a homeowner.
Right.
And you've helped that person achieve an American dream. And so there's thousands of them over the years. Not every single deal is successful, but that makes it all worth it for us. Every single person that comes out and gets across the finish line and into a home, nothing bigger in life than that for most people.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's got to be really, I know from the mortgage side of it, it's very rewarding, right? As it is from the real estate side. But from your end, if you're getting someone, it's either because they're in real need.
Right.
And to be able to take that extreme negative in some cases and help turn that into that positive experience, I think, yeah, man, that's got to be, man, dude, how do you not, you got to choke it back a lot at work? What are you doing?
Sometimes, but, bad things happen to good people. And
sure.
If everybody had 800 credit scores and 20% in the bank, then life would be easy for all of us. I might not be in business.
There would be no challenge.
Yeah, so our challenges and rewards are the same as our mortgage partners and our realtors, because when we're able to fix and help those people and extend a helping hand, they have a story to tell. They tell all their friends and neighbors and coworkers. It creates more business for me, creates more business for our partners. And those are more challenging situations to overcome than the easy loans that fall in your lap or the easy transactions.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's been good, and it's a different level of service and support than taking the easy out of the box loan.
Right on.
Or transaction.
So let's say I'm out there and I'm a person who maybe needs, or maybe they feel like they need to explore this, right? They need to look at a company like yours. What are some tips or tricks, or what would you tell somebody like that? In other words, somebody who maybe, obviously it's going to be call Carl Stanley, right?
All right. Call Rising Point.
What can somebody do, to help ensure or make sure that their report isn't compromised, let's say?
Right. Well, the biggest thing is most consumers are not in the habit of checking their credit on a regular basis. They and for most people that are referred to us, they really have no idea what's on their credit report, what their scores are. It's not until they go apply for something and getting told no, get that punch in the gut. Yeah. And so, the biggest piece of advice I can give to consumers is, know before you buy. Go get a copy of your credit report, check it for errors, check it for inaccuracies and identity theft issues or anything else that might be affecting it, or even if they've just been through a rough time and they know they have some credit issues, get that credit report, look at it, and figure out how they need to start positioning themselves to get ready for a mortgage. That may include us, it may not include us, but if you don't check it on a regular basis, you're going to most times be pretty surprised when the mortgage lender pulls it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
yeah, I think a lot of people who have purchased a home have had that surprise.
Yeah.
To be totally honest.
I've been surprised before. And I'm in the business. And so check it every 6 months. And if you need help, find help. Don't just sit around for years letting it be bad and wondering what it would be like to have good credit. There's things that you can do right away to start improving your situation.
And then once you get it cleaned up, don't let it go again, right?
Right. We don't like repeat customers.
Yeah, you're not selling for the repeat?
No.
Come on, man.
But we've been in business now for 13, 14 years. So, we've had great customers that did everything we asked, and we got them into a home, and 10 years later they lost a job or went through a medical emergency, and sometimes you just can't help it. And so
you never know what life's going to throw at you, baby.
Yep. They come back to us. We try to help again.
Yeah. Oh. Absolutely. So what you got going on this year? Anything new and exciting coming out?
Well, it's not really real new, but obviously we did start our student loan division last year.
Yeah.
Right? So not only are we doing credit restoration, we're now able to help consumers who have student loan issues. So
what do you mean by student loan issues?
Well, in the mortgage industry, a lot of people are being turned down because of student loans and their impact on debt-to-income ratio. And qualifying for a mortgage with a high level of student loans on your credit report is essentially like trying to qualify for two mortgages, because you already have a mortgage on your credit report. It's called your student loans, right?
Yeah.
High payment, 25 years. And so to qualify for a house with that kind of debt on your credit report can be difficult. So we have a lot of consolidation programs, repayment programs that we work through the Department of Education, even rehabilitation programs for people that are in collections and default on their student loans to help get them back on track and get that history cleared from their credit report. So the student loan solutions were actually born out of demand from all of our mortgage partners saying, hey, student loans are a big issue and causing a lot of declines right now. And so we had to come up with some solutions for our mortgage partners to help them get more deals closed. And so the student loan solutions we have are wonderful and I mean, save the majority of our customers a ton of money on their student loans.
Well, and I mean, it's almost to the point where it's the vast majority of Americans have student loan. Right.
Yeah, but, yes. I mean, the amount of student loan debt right now in the U.S. is more than the amount of credit card and auto debt combined.
Hey, man. Well,
it's gone from like $250 billion to like $1.2 trillion in the last 5 years.
Is wild.
Something ridiculous.
I did not have that statistic. That is wild.
Oh, I could give you lots of statistics on student loans, but every year, every graduating class every year is about $2,000 to $3,000 more average per student than the year before.
Great. I have so much to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah, my daughter is 17 and she'll be going to college next year, and so I don't think we're going to get deep in student loan debt. You know,
no.
I mean? Like we seem to have allocated for this.
Yeah.
But, I know for so many, it's just that's the only way, because the cost of education just continues to go up and up and up.
Yep.
Especially if you want like a school with some, some name behind it or whatever. It's just it's mind-boggling sometimes. But I think it's great that you guys are providing that kind of a service, man.
Right.
So in other words, like with your program, you don't even have to be in trouble with your student loans, right? In order to get assistance from you guys.
Right, because there's a lot of people out there that stay in deferment or, they have really high payments because they're not aware of certain repayment programs or other payment options, whether it's extending the term or consolidating the loans or a certain, federal program that allows for a different payment type or amount. And so they just pay the default and pay the, what's given to them by the servicer when and if they do start paying. So,
right.
I mean, roughly 1/3 of all student loan holders are in default right now. So it's a tremendous number. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So some are in default because they
were so much to look forward to.
Yeah, they were.
Thanks. I'm glad I had you on. This
yeah,
is awesome.
I'm a ray of sunshine. So, yeah, well, my whole business is built around helping those in need. So it's not always a good story to start. We just hope it's a good story to end.
Oh, look at you with the segue.
I'm trying to get real salesy.
Look at that, man. Dude, let me explain the benefits of ice.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice. Great.
Well, cool, man. Well, I tell you what, brother, I appreciate you taking time to sit in the chair and do this interview with us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
We'll do it again.
Where can people find you?
Well, we have our website, risingpointsolutions.com.
Okay.
Risingpointsolutions with an S.com.
Okay.
And we have a toll-free number. It's 866-655-4411.
Okay.
And then we have local reps in just about every market in Texas. So if you work in the mortgage and real estate industry, we're not hard to find.
Yeah, who's your local rep for the Austin area?
Oh wow, we got a great local rep in Austin. Her name's Ariel Grumman.
Yeah, and since I don't do a video version of this podcast, my listeners can't see, but she's been sitting here the whole time just as quiet as a mouse. Poor thing. I tried to get her mic'd up, and she wouldn't do it. She wasn't ready. But we're gonna get
Not
her
ready
on
yet.
next time. I think. How about that?
Next podcast will be
Dude,
Ariel.
Hey, I'm not editing this, so
You're
not passed or whatever.
No editing.
All right, so risingpointsolutions.com.
That's it.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, everybody. That's going to wrap up this episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like. Give us a share. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. This is how we're going to hopefully be able to make this thing better. Other than that, man, Carl, I appreciate you coming out, brother.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So that's it. I hope you have a great one and stay social. Bye.